So this is a demonstration of a factorial ANOVA that has two variables, hunger and weight. And each of these variables has two levels. So hunger has empty stomach and full stomach, and weight has normal and obese. And this is the information that is given in the question. And I'm going to walk through it before I start actually working through the problem. So what you can see here is the data that comes from participants who are of normal weight and eating on an empty stomach. We have 20 participants, n equals 20. The mean hunger or mean amount of food, I suppose, food that they ate is 22 units. The total, so if you add up the scores for each of the 20 individuals, that is 440. And so if you take 440 and divide it by 20, you get the mean. And then we've got a sum of squares for these participants. When I move my hands, we've got that same data for each of the groups. So here we've got normal weight, empty stomach, normal weight, full stomach. Obese, eating on an empty stomach, obese, eating on a full stomach. Over here, this T normal is the total. It's the row total for the participants who are of normal weight, ignoring whether they're eating hungry or eating full. So these individuals that are eating of normal weight, this T normal is 440 plus 300. Down here we've got T obese, that's 340 plus 360. And then we can also add this way. So those eating on an empty stomach, whether they're normal or obese, that column total is 780. And for the full, it's 660. Over here we have the grand total. That is the total for each of these cells, each of these 4 cells. That's 1440. So that's 440 plus 300 plus 340 plus 360. We've got big N, that's the total number of participants in this study. 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. And then we've got the sum of x squared, which we couldn't calculate on our own from the data that's given. That's each individual x score squared, then added up. And so we're going to use these and follow through the 4-step procedure that's outlined in the class notes. So step 1 is that we have to come up with our hypotheses. And so for factorial ANOVA, there are 3 hypotheses. There's a hypothesis about hunger. Sorry about that. There's a hypothesis about weight. And then there's a set of hypotheses about the interaction. So for the first factor, factor A is weight. We've got a null and we've got an alternate. And these are going to be two-tailed tests because it's not otherwise specified, and so our default is always to have a two-tailed test with an alpha of 0.05. So the null is that the mean of the population, so mu, the mu normal equals mu obese. So that's saying that the mean of the population of normal weight is equal to the mean of the population of obese weight, ignoring whether they're eating on an empty stomach or a full stomach. The null, or the alternate, is that they're not equal. We do the same for factor B. The null is that the amount that's eaten by individuals on an empty stomach is the same as the amount eaten by those with a full stomach. So mu full equals mu empty. The alternate is that they are not equal. The interaction is our third piece, and it's included in this step 1. So I'm going to post these, so I'll just put 1 for page 1, page 2. So the step 1 continued. Now we have to have the interaction, which I'm going to call weight cross hunger. The null is that the effect of hunger does not vary as a function of weight. Alternatively, you could say that the effect of hunger does not depend upon the weight. The alternate is that it does. The effect of hunger does vary, depend upon, is another way to say that. Depend upon does not vary as a function, or does vary as a function of weight. So I'm going to pause the video here. I will restart without having written anything new, but I'll do each step as an individual video so that it doesn't get too long.